Thank you, Margaret. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Visualization. We're going to discuss visualization meditation tonight. Holding image in the mind's eye. We'll also continue our discussion of mindfulness, best practice, focusing on the fundamental activities of mindfulness. Okay. Let's begin with Rabbi Kaplan. This is what he has to say about visualization. He says following: earlier, I spoke about the images that one sees when the eyes are closed. An important discipline in meditation is learning how to control these images. As you close your eyes and things pop up on the screen of your mind. When one has learned how to control them, one can also learn how to hold an image in the mind's eye. This technique is known as visualization. You're controlling the imagery that appears on the screen of your mind. A simple way to begin this discipline is to close your eyes and try to picture a letter of the alphabet. For example, the letter A. If you know the Hebrew alphabet, you can try to visualize the letter Aleph. Since there are Jewish meditations that use the letter Aleph, I shall use it as an example, although any other letter or figure could also be used. To begin a visualization meditation, just close your eyes and relax, allowing the image in the mind eye to settle down. Okay, close my eyes. As soon as you close your eyes, you're aware that all the activity you've been generating, it's there, and now you have to settle down. If you have been practicing mantra meditation, you may want to use it as a relaxing mechanism. So what do you choose? Ribono Shel Olam, or whatever the phrase is, you could use that as a calming mechanism. In any case, after a few minutes, the images in the visual field will become easier to control. When the visual field is fairly calm, you can begin to try to visualize the Aleph. You may have an Aleph printed on a card and set the image of it in your mind. Then close your eyes and try to picture the Aleph. Try to see it with your eyes closed, exactly as you saw it with your eyes open, and that's a really good technique. Whatever you want to visualize, a flower, if it's a picture of a flower, then have a picture of the flower nearby. Or if it's a letter, you write the letter on a card and it's there, and you get the imprint of that in your mind. And you can flash it on the screen of your mind. Try to see it with your eyes closed, exactly as you saw it with your eyes open. First, this may be extremely difficult. The images that you see in mind's eye are very difficult to control. If you have never done this before, it will be almost impossible first time. Yeah. One important aid in visualization is the name of the object to be visualized. If you are trying to visualize the Aleph, you may repeat the Aleph to yourself periodically. You may even wish to repeat the word over and over as if it were a mantra. This not only relaxes the visual field, but locks the mind on the Aleph. Repeating the word Aleph as a mantra will bring the letter into the mind's eye. Excuse me, so that's very key. using visualization and sound in your mind to focus on the object. So let's say it's the letter A. You have an image of the letter A in yourself. A. So you're setting up different parts of your mind to work in synchronicity. Would be the word. Yeah, so they're working together to sharpen your focus. Another good aid is to initiate visualization exercise with a contemplation meditation. If you visualize the Aleph, first spend several days contemplating the letter written on a card, approximately 20 minutes a day. This will serve to fix the image of mind. It will be much easier to fix the Aleph in the visual field with the eyes closed. How interesting is that? So contemplation meditation, filling the mind, the object of contemplation, the discipline, what he's actually recommending, half hour or a day, just looking at whatever you have, let's say card with the letter on it. You can imagine how it will be engraved in your mind. So then with the card, there it is. You made an imprint of it in your mind. The ability to do this exercise varies from individual to individual. Some are able to do it the first time, while others have to work for weeks before they can visualize the letter. With patience and perseverance, however, it can be done by almost anyone. It takes time. Even after depicting the letter in the mind's eye, the average person will be able to hold the image for several seconds. Then, like all images, it will dissolve into other images. With time and practice, eventually develops the ability to hold the image clearly, firmly in the mind's eye for extended periods. When this is accomplished, one has come a long way in gaining control over mental processes. The ability to hold an image in the mind's eye is discussed in the Kabbalah text dealing with meditation. The Sefer Yetzirah refers to two processes in depicting letters: engraving chakika and chatziva. Both processes seen as important if it's going to depict the letters. As discussed in the previous chapter, the Hebrew letters are seen as channels of the forces of creation. Okay, now we're entering another mention of what is your content that you're visualizing. And as such can be used as a powerful means of drawing down spiritual energy. However, engraving and hewing are also useful for less esoteric forms of meditation. So let's backtrack for a second here. So what we're doing is we're visualizing an object on the screen of the mind. And we're closing our eyes. We're aware that during normal daily perception, we've been throwing a lot of junk onto that screen. There's a lot of sorted images. When we close our eyes and focus on the screen, we're aware of those images. So we want them down. We can just wait it out and let them settle. Or we can use a calming mechanism. And one calming mechanism is to be able to use a mantra. The mantra can be a phrase or word that we use in meditation, like Rabbi Olam, or actually be the name of the object itself that we're trying to visualize. So let's say is Aleph. So you're trying to visualize the Aleph with your visual capacity of your mind, and with the verbal capacity of your mind, you're saying Aleph, Aleph, Aleph. Okay. So in tandem, the visual and the verbal part of your minds are working together to focus on this image that you want to kind of up and project on that screen of your mind. now, he's also adding that you could employ yet another form of meditation, the contemplation meditation, to really reinforce that image, meaning that, let's say it's an olive. You want to be able to project your olive onto the screen of your mind. So you write it on a card, and every day you contemplate that card. You just draw your attention and keep your attention onto the olive that's drawn on that card. For a duration of time, he's recommending 30 minutes on a daily basis, and you're imprinting it. So that when you want to conjure up the image of that olive onto your mind, the screen in your mind, then it's easier because it's in your system. That's where we're at right now. There's two ways of doing this, engraving or hewing, which we're going to talk about. And he's adding that as is always the case, there can be a qualitative difference in what you choose to be the object of your visualization. And he is mentioning Hebrew letters are potent energy sources, which we're going to get into before this in a few places, meaning that you can add a whole dimension to your meditation because using them. So we're going to keep the people and leave that part of it out of this, because that's getting very, very advanced, as he mentions. Okay. So what is the difference between engraving and hewing? The term engraving denotes fixing an image in the mind's eye so that it does not wave or move. No matter what other images may arise in the field of vision, engraved image remains there as if the image were actually engraved in the mind. Once a person accomplishes this, he can usually depict the desired image as soon as he begins his meditation, almost as a reflex. So if you've engraved the letter Aleph in your mind, even if all the other mind clutter pops up, it's on the screen, you can still see the Aleph. However, even when the image is clear and steady, meaning engraved in the mind, it is usually surrounded by other images. The next step is to isolate the image. Thus, for example, if one were visualizing the letter Aleph, one would have to isolate it and the mind's eye of all other imagery. This is known as hewing, cutting away. The analogy is to hewing out a stone from the surrounding rock. The process consists in designating the desired stone, then hewing away the extra stone. One does the same thing in the mind, hewing away all extraneous imagery surrounding the desired form. All that is left is the image one desires. So he's talking about, on the one hand, you have something engraved in your mind, like the letter Aleph, it stays there. Even so, there's stuff pop in your field of vision. So it's engraved, it's there. But on top of that, you have the ability to remove the other that pops up. So you're still aware of that engraved Aleph. It's staying there. You're aware of the other stuff too, but now the second step is to get rid of the other stuff. So how do you do that? There are a number of ways of hewing away surrounding imagery. One way is to replace all the mental images within the Aleph with pure light. First, focus on the Aleph, allowing it to fill the mind. Then gradually hew away the images around the Aleph, replacing them with white fire. Imagine the white fire burning away the other images. Begin with a small spot of white fire at the top of the Aleph, using it to burn away a small spot of energy. Let the white fire expand, burning away larger and larger areas. As it moves around the Aleph, burning away images on all sides. Finally, one sees the Aleph alone, written in black fire and white fire. Now it's getting into mysticism, but the point is, he's talking about coming up with a mental process that is comfortable with to get rid of other images. So it obviously doesn't make sense if you have images of dogs and cats popping up around your olive. It doesn't make sense to replace them with seals and porpoises, because you still have images either way. But what's good about it, so then what you want to replace the dogs and cats with something that is a non-object. Let's wait. Okay, so he's suggesting you using white fire. Fire consumes, so if you use white fire to burn away the dogs and cats that are cluttering your screen, okay, then that will do the trick. It's kind of advanced, but whatever you come up with, you just come up with a picturesque way. Maybe you could even, just comes to my mind, maybe you could picture yourself, you've got a paintbrush with white paint, and you're just painting that part of the screen that the dogs and cats are on, just leaving the off. That would be as he defines viewing. In general, okay, his next segment is involved with using the letters that prize God's name, visualizing them, which we're not going to get into because that's super advanced. And to show you how advanced it is, Bhante, I'll tell you what he says. He says these last methods, and again, what this is talking about is different objects in this universe have different seas and different energy levels and track different energies. And picturing a moose is one, picturing God, the letter of God's name is themselves. And he's placing an emphasis on the object of your meditation can itself release other energies which you can be aware of, and if you're skilled enough, utilize in your meditating, which is on where we're at right now. But to show you means and to show how advanced it is, this is what he says. These last methods can bring a person to a very high spiritual level. It should not be taken lightly. The original sources state, his original sources in mysticism, that before attempting any of these more advanced methods, one should spend the entire day in preparation, recite the Psalms, and studying Torah. Before beginning the meditation, one should immerse oneself in mikveh or any other natural body of water to cleanse oneself both physically and spiritually. Some sources also indicate that one should dress totally in white for these meditations. An entire day preparing this meditation. From everything, preparing your mind with Torah-filled, Tanakh-filled ideas and words, to your body, going to a mikveh and then dressing. You can see how it's a whole being activity, and it must be taken really seriously. And that's why we're not, one of the reasons addressing this, because I certainly am not prepared to teach anybody to take those steps. So you pick something simpler, whatever letter or object that's not going to get you into too much trouble, and you go ahead and you visualize that. So just to review, he's presenting visualization meditation as a way that can you control the imagery of that's appearing on the screen of your mind. And remember, his overall definition of meditation is controlling the contents of your mind. And he's actually creating an architecture of mind, meaning that, we've talked about sounds that can be heard, phrases you can repeat, the verbal function of your mind. There's that. You hear things. Oh, I'm hearing voices. Now you're seeing things. You're seeing things on the screen of your mind. And in all cases, the object is it can control what's going on, whether it's a sound or a sight, whatever on your mind, you can control it. So this is a way of controlling what you're visually seeing. Again, what you're visually seeing inside a screen of your mind, inside. So it's important to prepare. It's a little bit of effort gets a little bit of results. This much gets this much results. If you really want to be able to do this, prepare and you do the contemplation meditation, so you get whatever the image is really solid mind, and then you be creative, and you once you visualize the creative, and you come up with a technique of eliminating the other stuff that pops up. And just as before meditating, you have the letter Aleph, let's say, on a card, and you see it clear as day. Now you're seeing it clear as day on the screen of your mind. That's what he's talking about. Yet another way to control what's going on in your mind. Okay. Let's see what Bhante says about mindfulness, seeing as they really are. We're going through the fundamental activities of mindfulness. We already discussed about how mindfulness reminds you of what you're supposed to do. And again, this is, how do you know? Sitting down and you're going to meditate. And he's like, all right, I'm going to sit down here for whatever it is, 30 minutes. I'm going to catch my breath. And all of a sudden, you're thinking about pizza. And it's mindfulness that both makes you aware that you're thinking about pizza, and makes you aware that what you're supposed to be doing is focusing on your breath. Mindfulness, the two dimensions of it there. And he's mentioned the point. You have bare attention, a reminder to pay attention. Okay. And as he's mentioning that mindfulness precognitive, pre-conceptual, it's like, maybe we relate to it, might be with your gut. It's a sensation you have before you start thinking about stuff. Okay, so this function of mindfulness is it reminds you what you're supposed to be doing. The second one is, we'll cover today, mindfulness things as they really are. This is what he says. Mindfulness is nothing to perception, and it subtracts nothing. It distorts nothing. It is bare attention and just looks at whatever comes up. Conscious thought pastes things over our experience, loads us down with concepts and ideas, immerses us in a churning vortex of plans and worries, fears, and fantasies. Conscious. When mindful, you don't play that game. You just notice exactly what arises in mind. Then you notice the next thing, this, and now this. It is really very, very simple. So you know you're mindful if you're not getting carried away with any particular thought or feeling or state of mind that pops up. Oh, yeah, that's me. That's me being worried. Oh, it's me being whatever. Oh, that's me being happy. Oh, that's me being up. That's it, right? Let it go. Let it go. So whatever it is, value, judgment, whatever it is. Oh, I'm not thinking that. No, let it go. Just let it go. That you're accepting what's popping up, not trying to control what's popping up, and letting it flow. That's also being mindful when it happens. But it's really, really cool. So you're being mindful when you realize that you're thinking about pizza. So you're being mindful when you're just saying up, Just going to let it go. And you're being mindful when you realize, now I got to get back to my breath. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. All those are different phases of mindfulness. It's not one-dimensional. It's like an ongoing thing. So you could see that if you could expand, you could extrapolate that and take it onto daily life, it would be kind of incredible how focused you would be, how clear you would be, how you'd be running around like a maniac, because the mindfulness is keeping you centered. And you're not letting the contents of your mind, you're not running away with the contents of your mind. And lo taturu achri avavchem ba'ari einechem, like it says on the Ma, you're not running after the content of mind or the contents of heart. That's a common understanding, is you're not running after your thoughts or your feelings. That's part of Shema. So that's a core practice of Buddhism. Mindfulness is a core practice of wish living. That's what we're talking about. Not getting carried away. Oh, that looks cool. No. And as a point, you could see how, all this discussion about how there's all this artificial intelligence and with social media and all this grabbing your attention, trying to force you to look here, trying to force you to look. They're the anti-mindfulness. They are challenging your ability to be mindful because they're trying to direct your mind here. But your idea is like, no, I'm not going to be sucked that way. So if people can develop very strong mindfulness skills, they're not going to keep getting sucked away. You might say, oh, they're trying to drag up, Facebook now or on LinkedIn is like, oh, that looks interesting. Oh, there they go. They're drawing me down the screen here. Oh, I'm not going to fall for this. Yep, that's them doing their thing. So you can see what they're trying to do here. The answer, of course, is mindfulness. It's up to us to develop mindfulness. They taught that in schools. They have a lot fewer problems with kids on social media getting sucked into this and that. The kids would be like, sorry, not for me. Okay. Margaret, please do your thing.